journey on our soft skills session. And you already know how it is. We have value packed content for you. All you need to do is to be attentive, get your writing materials so you can take down notes. I mean, don't stress your memory. Take down notes so you can always reference it when you need it, and do well to note down your questions. Subsequently, there's something you expected to hear and did not hear, or something that wasn't so clear, you need more clarity, you will also have the option to ask your question. So before we get into it, I would love to meet everyone on the call. You already know the tradition, you already know how it is. I see you, I see your name. I would love to hear from you. Tell us your region, that's where you are joining us from, and you can be kind to tell us your level in data analytics as well. Maybe you're a beginner, maybe you're an expert, maybe you're at intermediate level, whatever level you are, or maybe you're an enthusiast. I mean, because our sessions are not just closed up to data analysts alone. We've had cases where people in other field also listening and take the concepts that we teach here, because again it is soft skills, and soft skills apply to almost every role that I know of. So please tell us your name and tell us where you are joining us from. Let us meet you. Oh, I'll just start calling you one after the other. I'll mute your mic. Tell us. Let's go, guys. Iremide from Rwanda. Iremide, we're excited to have you on the call with us. If there's someone that I know that travels a lot, is Iremide. Iremide is always joining us from different parts of the world every month. I admire you, and when I grow up, I want to be like you, Ire. Please tell us where you are joining from. I see Bello, Olawi Samuel, Uwe Mayowa, Tommy Singh. Please share with us where you are joining from. We'll be happy to meet you. Tell us your name. We can see your name, but sometimes we join with a different name. So you can tell us your name, where you are joining from. Mayowa from Ibadan or your state. Mayowa, we're excited to have you on the session. Thank you. Okay, I guess the others are shy. Or you don't want us to meet you, which is the case. Is that you are shy or you don't want us to meet you? Okay. Velo, Samuel, Uwe. Only Mayowa wants us to meet him or her. Interesting. And also, guys, if you know someone that should be in the session that isn't here yet, please send the link to them and have them join. We don't want to keep the information to just ourselves. They say friends that grow together stay together. Or how did you say that parable? So if you know someone that should be here and isn't here yet, please do it to share the link with them. And as you know, this is our soft skills training session. We do this every month. This is part of the bigger picture of data analytics airlines. And for those of us who are just interacting with the brand for the first time, Data Analytics Airlight is a community of data analysts, data enthusiasts, data experts as well. And our goal is very, very simple. We just want to help you become a better seasoned data analyst. Okay. In a nutshell, that is what we do. So we do not just prepare people on technical skills, we also prepare people on soft skills as well, which is the essence of the session today. We have different trainings on different tools as far as data analytics is concerned, from SQL to Excel to Python, Tableau, just name it, whatever you want to learn. And it's not just teaching for teaching's sake. You have mentors who would hold your hand through the journey. Now, while you're doing that on one side, we're also committed to providing you with the soft skills you need to thrive in the workplace, because we want to produce well-rounded talents. Let's put it that way. I see. Hello, everyone. I'm Matthew from Lagos, Nigeria. Matthew, thank you for joining us. We're excited to have you, and everyone on the call. We're excited to have you all. So today we have an amazing guest. When I say amazing, know that she is amazing. This lady has been doing this for years. I went through her profile on LinkedIn and I saw when she started doing data analytics. She started for years and she has consistently built her brand. I don't want to use the word profile because I think it's more like a brand. Like when you see her, you see data analytics, and she has successfully built her brand, her personal brand, I mean, to where she is today. She works with one of the top most fintechs in Nigeria. You know, the fintech aura, right? And she's not just working with them, she stayed with them for 4 years and has steadily grew her career there. For those of us that are working, you know what it means to build your career in one place, like going to the top, climbing the ladder. It comes with a lot of effort, it comes with a lot of commitment, it comes with a lot of dedication. So when I say she is amazing, believe me that she is amazing. For someone to do this successfully for herself, there must be something she's doing right, letting people know that this is what I'm capable of, this is what I have done, these are my experiences, this is what I'm capable of doing. And not just even saying that, making the company believe it and acting on it. Trust me, that is a super skill. And I'm sure she's going to teach us that here. That is why the session is building experiences that matters. So it's not just enough building experiences, working on projects here and there, but building the ones that really do matters. Whether those experiences are hard skills, whether they are on soft skills, I don't know. I'm not the expert. That's why we have the expert here today to share that with us. So before we get started, quickly, you can tell us your expectation. What are you hoping to get from this session today? Just tell us. Our guest is already here. She's seeing it all. She's reading your messages. Like I like to do this because sometimes it helps us to, tailor our message and know, okay, this is what our people need. This is what they need to hear. And we use it for subsequent sessions as well. So if you can, it's not too much to do. Tell us your expectations from this session quickly, 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 quickly. And then we're going to bring her on board because I don't want us to even waste 1 second. 1 second is very, very valuable based on what we're going to come to learn about today. So let me see the comment section. I don't see any comments yet. I guess people are thinking. Okay, thank you very much, Irimide. So that's the link for anyone that would love to share with their friends, colleagues, even family members. All right, so we'll get right into it. Today we have our guest, Precious Emenike. I hope I pronounced the name correctly. We have our guest, Precious Emenike, here with us. Thank you so much. Precious is a senior data analyst with Flutterwave. She has been with them for over 4 years and she's been doing amazing things with them. Today, she's going to help us understand building experiences that matter so that we can also apply those in our individual career as well. So with a clapping ovation, in this case emoji, join me as I make welcome our beautiful and amazing guest, Precious Emenike. Precious, you have the floor.
Thank you, Adriel. Hi, everyone. Can we hear me? It doesn't seem like you can hear me.
Absolutely, I can.
Okay, fantastic. Hi, Adriel. It's nice to meet you. Hi, everyone. So I'm seeing blank screen. It's only Adriel's face I'm seeing. And I've seen Adriel's face before. So just to make this as human as possible, can we have like cameras on? I need at least 5 at the very least. At least let my first screen be faces. trust me, it would help, right? So I'll give us a minute to do that. So I like share my screen. And if you know me, every time I join a session, I literally go there to pour my heart out, or not my heart per se, not my heart, my heart. That sounds very um funny, but yeah, I go to like share what I've learned in the last few years. What LinkedIn will not tell you is that my data journey started in 2018, right? When I started learning Power BI at the time, because I tried software engineering and then I was trying data at the time. So that's what my LinkedIn. I think my LinkedIn will tell you I started 19 or 2020, something like that. But let's just say I've been in the data space for almost a decade. Crazy stuff. I feel very old, but yeah. I don't know if we have cameras on now. I would check. No, you people have to turn on your cameras. Let's not fight. Let's be civil here. Let's be civil here. I will call.
Guys, please let's not fight. So I don't want us to fight. Fighting is not good. Please, if you can turn on your
Exactly.
cameras, please.
Yes.
Please, please,
Thank you,
please. Because
Samuel.
even me, when I saw the images, I was like, this is Teams, and usually people don't log in with their accounts because you can't join without logging in. If it was Google
Yeah.
Meet, sometimes you can
Mhm.
see our profile pictures and all of that. So that makes it a little
Yeah.
scary. Yeah, just saying.
Yes.
So guys,
So
please
let's
make
do
sure you
this.
turn
Let's
on your
do real quick.
camera.
Uh, yeah. Thank you. Let's do this real quick. Are we supposed to put a price tag to the first 5 people that turn on their cameras? I don't know. Would that help? Would
That
that
sounds
help?
interesting.
Sounds interesting. Well, the first two. So we have only 3 slots left.
Yeah, we're already
Yeah,
there. Just three
exactly.
slots left.
That's 3 slots left. I know someone had this camera on at the time, and then anywho, I'll just start because I want to believe that people can hear me. I want to believe you can also see my screen. Okay. So why I am very happy that we're going to have this conversation is based on a conversation I've had with 2 amazing people this week. So I have a friend who is like a manager she's like a software engineer, but she's like on managerial level now, so a senior manager in a very interesting financial institution. And she wanted to hire some people on her team. They had this project they were churning out, product, not projects, products. I keep forgetting that data words and SE words is different. But yeah, so they had this product they were churning out, and she needed to hire a couple of people. Budget was slim, so she was permitted to hire 2 seniors and 4 junior staff, right? And of course, the typical you, because you don't want to put in notice, or the idea was just to hire as fast as possible. So she had asked me, do you know anybody you want to refer? I had referred her to one person, and then she, of course, she hired the person because she's like my very good friend. Um, then there was someone else she had hired, but from LinkedIn. And she called me last week, Thursday, and was like, Amara, this guy has broken the entire code base. What that means is that what he had done had scattered the entire UI of the product that was also launched like this Friday. So like the next day. And she was hysterical. She was angry, right? Because she had done a lot of hand holding. The problem was this guy looked very, I know my stuff on LinkedIn. And when it came to when it came to real world stuff, or when it came to the actual work, he was trying, right? Because you say, oh, he's junior, but he was trying, and there was some sort of expectation that we had given his profile, right? So yeah. So today we'll be talking about how to bridge the gap between being that person that people see and being the competent person that people can hold or that can stay in the job. Right. Okay. Yes. For the second friend I have, he literally posted on LinkedIn how he's so pained because now what he does is he refers people, and the thing about referring people is that your reputation is on the line, most times, if you refer somebody to somebody, they'll say, and it's precious that I referred that person to me, right? It's more of you are supposed to capitalize the relationship of somebody else for a particular job. And I know that some of us, what we really want is maybe a new job, an upgrade, salary increase, just something better, right, regarding our data journey. And I would do my best to help us see how we can do that, right, and move from where we are to where we want to be. All right, so I would start. So what makes a great analyst, data analyst in this case? I have a question here. So when you think of the best analyst you've worked with, or maybe the best analyst you hope to become, what do you think, what comes to mind? Like, do you have to be, is it technical wizardry? Like, do you need to know the tech so much? Do you need to be business savvy? That's where domain knowledge comes in. Or is it clear communication? I need to call somebody. Okay. You know what? Let me do this so I can share my screen. I wanted to do slideshow before, but I don't think that's going to work. All right, so that I can see names. Hi, Iremide. I don't know. You had this. Oh, okay. Abdul says logical and critical thinking. Interesting stuff. So that would fall under maybe the third family members or the third note I have. Who else wants to say? Who else wants to say something? Remide said all three. Matthew, Samuel, Simeon, Muideen. What do you think makes a great analyst? I have 3 points here. Technical wizardry, business savvy, clear communication. What do you think makes a great analyst and a great analyst? Yeah. Let's get to more response and then we would move on. Anybody, somebody? Steven. I want to believe it's not robots that are on the call. Oh, Mayawa, okay, Samuel, Tommy, Treasure. Yeah, okay. Steven says interpreting data and using the right illustrations. Interesting stuff. Okay. Reading is typing, so let's just. Oh, Tommy says all three. Fantastic. All right. I totally agree that all three are necessary, right? But sometimes we all know that there's maybe two of three. You have your strength is, or your strength lies here over this one, right? But yeah, typically the great analysts have all three actually. So if you said all three, that's very correct. If you said critical thinking, logical thinking, very fantastic. They need that. I know we have this like a checklist. I don't know how many of us have seen the data analyst checklist, just to show you where technical bit comes in and where soft skills come in, right? And then the whole handshake between these two to just make a great analyst, right? So yes, all three are very necessary, but it's okay to have strength in two over the third, but it's very necessary to have all three. So whatever your answer is, right? Just know you don't just analyze data, you build experience with it. So what does experience in itself mean? So if I'm speaking and I'm too fast and you have a question, please just call me back and I'll be happy to answer. Okay, so the idea of building experience from data is, firstly, I can't remember the analysis, but there was this analysis that said that I think there is 1.3 quintillion of data being generated every day, right, across different industries by every human, right? And it was an estimate, and the estimate said by 2026 it was going to be double that particular amount. So there's like data everywhere. But the difference between a great analyst and an analyst is how you use it, how you hone your skills so much that people cannot deny you, right? The value you bring that people cannot deny, right? So the idea is you're not just running queries, you're not just building dashboards, right? It's great to build fancy dashboard. Matter of fact, I have a problem with, if I say a dashboard, right, as an analyst, as a technical person now, and it's difficult for me to navigate. First of all, I know I'm not a dull person. I'm a very smart young lady. So if I'm struggling as a technical person to navigate your dashboard, I already have a problem with it because I feel like it is not intuitive enough for even the non-technical stakeholders. And don't forget, a lot of times as data analysts, our stakeholders are non-technical people. I don't know how that works for you where you are right now, or where you are in your data journey, but I promise you, as a data analyst, the majority of the people who are your customers are non-technical stakeholders. I mean, they're the quote unquote, they're the business people, because the idea is you help them shape decisions, right? So you are the analyst in the middle, you're churning out data to different people, and then you're influencing how they're making changes to their departments, to the organization, to revenue, to just things around the organization. It could even be in operations, right? You're not just, and I feel like that's where we need to draw the fine line. I feel like if every data analyst comes, or every time you tackle a problem, you come from the point of what decision am I going to, what decision do I want people to make from this data, right? How would this drive growth? Because a lot of times, that's the difference between the performance metrics and the actionable metrics. You are giving people performance metrics. Sales revenue was 1.3 billion last year. um we are currently on 1.5 billion. We had a we had a 20% decline in sales. Okay. Everybody knows that our accounts, of course, financial papers or financials is definitely showing us that from a data perspective, what are you adding to that's supposed to help us do better, right? So if you're saying that you should add stuff that would prompt people to action, it could be you say, oh, we had a problem with these merchants, I mean fintech, sorry. Well, we had a problem with this customer. We need maybe manage relationship with customer, understand if this customer is about to churn. Look at this payment type. We think that a lot of people are now going cashless. So when we say things like we don't accept cash for payments, imagine a retail store and they're like, they don't accept cash payments, they only accept transfers. So what that means is we're probably losing money somewhere, or we're just leaving off some money on the table without actually managing or influencing how that changes our own financials, right? So you're supposed to dig deep, right? The idea, I feel like every data analyst, your mantra should be like, how this stuff I'm doing, how is it going to shape decisions? How is it going to drive growth? How is it going to build trust? Right? Sometimes the data you send out is going to build trust between an external party and your organization. Because if you're sending, for example, you say a customer um, is about to churn, and this customer is really about to churn, and then you sent out that data and you like, the TAM team, the customer service team, they should reach out to this person, they should try and engage this person and see what the problem is. And then they call this merchant, and the merchant now verbally shares their grievances. Maybe there's always a timeout, maybe your service is always down, your app is always crashing, so the merchant is exhausted, which is something you not have known without that deep dive into the data, right? So every time you do or build a data product, just think about it. Is this going to influence a decision? Is this going to drive growth? Is this going to build trust, right? Um, Quick one, right? Do you feel like your current work is making a tangible difference? Now, if you are a data enthusiast and you don't yet have a data job per se, right? Because I feel like you can create data jobs yourself, right? And you feel so. This question is for anybody that has worked on a current project or past project or whatever. Do you feel like it has made a tangible difference? I feel like this is a question I always ask myself every week. Interesting stuff. I always ask myself every week, like, has this week now, what the data I have churned out, has it made a tangible difference, right? Because the idea is, they say data is the lifeblood of every organization, right? They'll tell you that data is the lifeblood of every organization. Now, we want to be sure that there's a steady supply of that blood. And we want to be sure that the posture of the heart or the health of the heart is fine. So you want to be sure that the data you're sending out is definitely fine and it's making a difference. Now, if you're churning out data and for some beautiful reason, people are still following gut instincts without your data, I have a problem with you as a data analyst. Because it tells me, one, either you've not built trust with them for them to believe in your abilities, right? Or two, there's a skill or gap problem there. Can you hear me? It's looking like I am tapping out.
Not at all. Not at all.
Okay,
I'm following you.
fantastic. All right, thank you. So, like I said, if you're if you do data stuff and you send out, and people still go with their guns instinct, like you know the one I will even fight you more for is you are in that meeting and you've done your presentation and people look at it and they're like, okay, and then they now start having the meeting as if there was no data there at all in the first place. I have a problem with you as a data analyst. It means that you need to build trust capital. People need to trust your data. People need to trust the decisions that they can make based on that data, right? And if that means let me share this. I have a friend that when she joined her organization, she was the first data analyst, which means that there was a lot of pushback because the organization has, they were like 15 years, right? And most of these people have stayed in the company for over a decade. You know, this, if you know, are they millennials now? I don't think they are millennials. The generation before millennials, the people that used to stay in the organization for 30 years, 40 years, retire in one hand, those people. So they were the ones in the organization when she came, or people like that. And there was a lot of pushback. And she'd be like, Amara, these people are pushing back my work too much. They're not even accepting me. That was her word. And I told her, because they don't trust you. You've not built so much influence for them to be able to trust the data that you've churned out. And I think that is very applicable to even your personal brand, right? And I told her, this sounds very manual, but what I told her was, go to everybody that you think is your stakeholder, not customer. Stakeholder means you people make a collective decision around data. It affects everybody here one way or the other, right? Go to each of their offices, sit with them, find out their day-to-day stuff, and then find out how data can help them do better, and then test with something. Everybody wants an easy life, but you're coming as Sonny Abacha. You're telling them, do this, do this, do this. If it's me, Seb, I'll push you back. Because where are you coming from? And first of all, there's see this young girl that wants to take my job. There's this sense of, it's my job, right? Leave me alone. But if you build that relationship and trust capital to the extent that you can have that conversation with them and say, oh, I see that for finance, I see that you people are always trying, or sales, I see that, and this was what she did, right? She ended up using Google Studio to build them like a dashboard for sales, right? And I kid you not, after she left the organization, they told the person that replaced her to maintain to maintain the dashboard because they now saw value in it. But that would not have happened if she was not going to sit with them, understand the kind of report they do. Because off the top of her head at the time, she had just decided that this is what they want to see. But is that really what they want them to see? And as a data analyst, you need to understand. I know that we say we need to be clear communicators, right? We need to be able to communicate insights clearly. Part of communication is effective listening, because I know we say it a lot that body language is a thing. You need to read the room. As a data analyst, it is, in fact, you have to be reading the room like this. There are sometimes I want to do a presentation, and then I check the faces of the people on the call. I check the time. I will just go straight to the point. I will not even go around technical work. I will just go straight to, so this is why I think this will help you. Because once it's reaching 1 p.m., 2 p.m., 3 p.m., people are already, their attention span is really reducing because they're all about, oh God, when is it time to close? When is it time to close, right? And so the first thing I just go do is show them the end results, right? I focus on the outcome and not just the output, right? So yeah, that's about your current of being making a tangible difference. Then this is where I really want us to dwell on. So as a data analyst, right, there's something we call the experience stack, right? the technical experience. And I feel like a lot of data analysts today, what we usually focus on is just the technical experience, the tools, the queries. Oh, I can do this model, ba 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 ba. Fantastic. I love it for you that you can do that. But then there's minimal or lack of business experience in terms of context. And that is why a lot of data analysts, that's why you feel like lots of analysis can be very shallow. Because when you now ask them for recommendation, they'll just go to ChatGPT and ask for recommendation. But if you understand business context, if you understand the KPIs, if you understand the metrics that are important to the business, you can help them make more meaningful contributions. For example, let's say your company's goal for the year, I know mine is profitability, right? What does profitability in itself mean? You know that what that means is net margin, that metric has to be on a high, meaning aside the fee we charge customers, revenue, we're going to take out OPEX, we're going to take out operating costs. The money we used to buy fuel, we're taking it out. The money for salary, we're taking it out. The cost of service, we're taking it out. So the net margin, just in case you don't know what net margin is, that's just what it means. Net margin is after it's taking out everything costs from what you charge people, right? That value should be all-time high for if your company's distance on if your company's target for the year or for the time in review or the period in review is profitability. Now, what that means for you is when you are building certain dashboards and reports, when you have that at the back of your mind, somehow it influences the tone and the manner of presentation that or the manner English is that or the manner at which you're going to present it to them, right? Context strategies. Like I feel like okay, not I feel like I know that one of the things that helped me in my former company was I understood business context so much. So my MD will literally tell my boss that she should sit with me. It was we're just four on the team though, but she'll be like, sit with Amara. At the time I was Amara, sit with Amara. You guys should be we will create a full 20 pages strategy document. I will talk about it in board meeting. Oh no. We didn't start attending board meetings today, right? We'll talk about it in board meetings. And it was because I had taken time to understand the business. And I see a lot of people say, "Oh," or reach out to me on LinkedIn and say, "Oh, I'm looking for an internship. I like the financial sector. It's somewhere I think I want to start my career." And then you ask them basic things about the fintech industry, and they are blank. And I want to share this because this bit, I have a friend, Chloe, and she's currently with Tesla. She's in the US. But before then, when she was in Nigeria, because she was in Port Harcourt at the time, and she had reached out to interesting stuff. She had reached out to Shortlast. I don't know if you know Shortlast in Lagos at the time. Oh, they're still here, right? And there was something she had read through their business model, at least from what she understood, and then she had like inside, call it like and put on quotes, insider trading. She had got some information. And I remember that she had sent a message to Dami and she told Dami something about, I can't remember how she pointed it, but a tweak that she thought would make the model a lot better. Now, imagine you come or you are reaching out to a hiring manager on LinkedIn and you're telling them that, oh, you tried this product, you really liked it, but we were hoping it could do this and this and this and this. And this is why you think that, and this is something you can actually do for them. I want to believe that the response the person will give you will not be the, oh, I'm sorry, there's no opening at the time. The person's first reaction, every normal human being that's not having a bad day, would be, oh, okay, let's have a conversation about that. Right? I know this has worked for me before because there was this German company. I wanted to be a beta tester for them. Beta tester means when they've done their AI products, so they were leveraging OpenAI stuff, OpenAI's API to be able to build like a chatbot, but for aviation services, right? Aviation services. And I wanted to test the product, but I had tried the version 1, and I saw a couple of issues with it, right? And I had reached out to this same guy, but I sent a mail. I didn't even get response. I didn't even get we regret to inform you. I didn't even get that. They did not even answer me. Till today, they did not answer that email. And I reached out to him on LinkedIn. I say, oh, I see that there's a version 2 coming up. However, I would love if blah, 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 if this feature was available, if that feature was available. And I kid you not, I had a couple of more conversations with this guy. Like I was now a better tester for them. Like they push something, they'll say, Amara, can you test this? Do you think this is good? Right? Should we work with this? Right? For me, because it was also supposed to be like real-time real-time analytics for the aviation sector. Did it sell? Yes, the product sold. One big company ended up buying them for about, I think, $2 million or something like that. But did I collect my money? Yes, I collected my money very happily. So I'm just saying that's where context can give you leverage, especially when you are churning out content on LinkedIn, where you're just talking about technical experience. There's no depth, there's no impact, right? To see how it actually affects an organization. Then human experience, empathy, storytelling, influence. This bit of your core experience is the real spot, right? um Empathy, because you want to understand, you want to put yourself in your customer's shoes. That is why I think that one of the key factors of data visualization is empathy. Because we technical people, we love to show ourselves. Oh my god, we can like to do show. We want to show, oh, I can do this one, the x, the y, the x. We want to do all of that. But think about your customer. Your customer just wants to see one simple slide that just explains everything. Does this thing work? It works. Move on. And then you want to, of course, be a storyteller so that people can follow through what you're saying. So don't come and tell them revenue is 1.2 billion. They now go and say this merchant is owing us 3 million. Let them be able to tie the conversation, right? And then influence. I think the example I gave of my friend that had to go sit with sales team, I think the ops team too, the accounting team, to be able to understand them, which helped her now build influence to them. So when she was proposing solutions to their problems, they were open to it. So influence. Um, so let's talk about these things one by one. I will not dwell so much on them, but yeah. So know your stack: SQL, Excel, BI tools, Python. The next one says build automation muscles. Repetitive work is a clue. Now, you may say, okay, let's do two scenarios. If you work right now, you have a data job, right? If there's a particular task that every people have to do continuously, and you know in your heart that you can automate that thing, why automate it? Like, be quick to automate things. For example, there's a report that goes out via email every day, daily by 2 p.m. You are not sure how to be able to deliver that. Ask them to spin off a E2 instance, AWS, spin it off, open SSMS, put your SQL script there, plug it in there, put your Python, plug it in there, let the emails be sending to them automatically. I promise you that the person that prepares that report every day is going to love you for life, except they are rich, but the idea is they're going to love you for life because you have literally made their day a lot better. Maybe the only thing they now have to now do is review the reports. Build automation muscles. See, the cheapest and quickest win you can have in organizations is automation muscle. Now, funny story. Last year was not a very amazing year for me in terms of work. I just deviate a bit. I had lost a couple of people, right? When I say lost, I mean like lost, like they died. About 6, 7 people within the beginning of the year, like first 6 months of the year. So it was hard for me because it feels like I'm grieving from this person and then you come and tell me this other person. I'm like, what is going on? So I was very low key. And I had times where my boss would reach out to me and say, Amara, what's going on? And because I had bagged a promotion the year before 2023. So she was like, are you not comfortable? I'm like, it's not that I'm comfortable. I just don't have and I'm not motivated to do nada. And all of that. I mean, that was super amazing because I mean, if it's me, I would have kicked my house out. But yeah, then towards the end of the year, this project came up. It was for CBN. And there's this report that we render to CBN every day. It takes about 6 hours for 4 analysts. So when I say 4 analysts, you know how we have graduate graduate trainees, analysts, associates, senior associates, or senior engineers, before your managers or senior managers, just the hierarchy at work. And I kid you not, that's one project I know that I delivered on towards the end of last year, and it redeemed my entire it redeemed my entire year because I automated that report for them. It reduced, and this is why context is important. I understood how important that report to go to CBN was. I understood how if we don't send it, CBN is going to knock us one fine like that. If we don't send it, people are exhausted. There's report exhaustion from the people. They are not even motivated because it's so mundane, right? They're exhausted. It's prone to human error. And then I said, okay, bring it. I'm going to work on this. Before then, I had to take a course on data structures to be able to deliver that project. And that's why I like the idea of building automation muscles, because there's always a tendency to always learn something new as you're working on it. And because you're working on that stuff and you're learning something new, what that means is it sticks better, because for you, you have an experiential level of knowledge why this should be done against this, right? Because you've tried other things, it didn't work, and then you tried this thing and it worked. And I bet you can go out anywhere and have a conversation about that stuff that you built, right? So yes, build automation muscles. I cannot even emphasize this enough, because the cheapest and quickest win, guys, automation muscle. Just build it. Then the next one, learn from broken dashboards, failed joins, unexpected notes. The problem I have with a couple of people today is they're very quick to ask ChatGPT the solution to their problem. No thinking, zero thinking. You run the SQL query, you see the error, you just go ChatGPT corrects it. ChatGPT corrects it. You don't even read the correction. You just carry the code, paste it back. You've literally lost a chance to learn something. You've lost a chance to learn something from experience, which will probably be something you need in the next interview. Because sometimes some of these things, and that's the difference between people who have built depth, like I know they call it vertical depth against horizontal depth. So you've built vertical depth, you are truly genuinely rooted. It's because you've understood errors, you've walked through errors, and you've survived those errors, right? I think I was reading a book, Systems Bible, and the guy was saying how love your bugs, right? Cherish your bugs, work around them, find the solution. And if ChatGPT is going to give you a solution, that's okay too. But read to understand why ChatGPT did it this way, so I don't lose that chance of actually learning something new, right? The next one, what's one technical skill you avoided that later became a superpower? I will go first. Data structures. When I was in school, matter of fact, I had a C in that course. I know that. In fact, I didn't like the lecturer. He was an elderly man, and he used to tell us that if we want to hear him talk, we should go and buy a microphone. Like, I was like, why would you just be mean to people? So data structure was something I left. And sometime last year, imagine when I had to now say, oh God, I literally had to go and study data structures, optimization theorems. I had to go and study them. And now put me in any room. Let's have a conversation about it. I'm very ready to game. I'm ready to play. I'm ready to play ball. So yeah. But this is more like a rhetorical question, right? Um, Next one is building business experience. Context, guys. What building a business experience means? Just have content. You want to break into the sports industry. You want to be a data analyst at Chelsea. You want to be a data analyst at NBC. Is it NBC? NBA. You want to be a data analyst at my or you want to, even in Maven Records, you want to be a data, yes, in case you don't know, yes, they have data analyst at Maven Records. I'm not sure, but I think it's an analyst at a data analyst, like senior data analyst at Maven Records. So Don Jazzy does not just move with vibes and inshallah. There's data supporting that business. I tell you this for free because I'm familiar with who their data analyst. I don't even know if she has left, but as of last year, yes, the lady in question, I know her. She's not my friend, but data people that we know ourselves and have contacts. Yeah. So learn your product, right? Not just the tech or the platform. Learn the product. Learn why is this product even making money? Why do people use it? Why is this important? Why is what we're doing important, right? So know what, so me saying the next one says know what revenue cost churn or growth means. Um I'm not necessarily saying know what revenue cost churn or growth means. What I'm saying is know what the metrics that are important to that industry means. For streaming platforms, you want to be a data analyst at Spotify, but you don't even know the metrics that are important for streaming platforms. Is it the number of views? Is it the number of active subscribers? Is it the number of premium users? Like, what is important? Because that way, when you're even doing guided projects that you're churning out on LinkedIn as content, you are coming from I know my stuff. You're not coming from I like, because the problem today with ChatGPT and all these AI tools is everybody now begins to sound alike. The problem I even have is people that will copy the emoji that ChatGPT gave them and even put in their post. I'm like, everybody begins to sound alike, and then it just feels like at some point we're going to go into this feedback loop of having the same thing being recycled, because a lot of, I think I was telling my friends this sometime last year, how we should start writing out original content, because there's going to be a stage where you people are recycling old content. At some point we need new content to be recycled, and I would want to sell that data to whichever big organization wants to buy it at the time, right? So yes, when you now know what these metrics are, you already know what they are, right? Convert them to decisions. So when you're reporting some certain metrics, I'm not just saying this for people who are within organizations. I'm saying this for when you are churning out stuff. Maybe you want a new job or you're trying to grow your personal brand as a data analyst, right? One of the things you want to do is, after you know what the metrics are, you should be able to drive a decision, right? Somebody should be able to take a keynote, not just revenue was 1.2 billion. Not just figures, right? They should be able to make a decision after they've looked at your data. Or you should be able to make a decision after you've looked at your data. Yeah. So next one, don't just report what happened, guys. Know why it matters. Know why it matters. And I think this is something that's definitely to my own personal story. What a lot of people don't know is, at the time I joined Flutterwave, I joined Flutterwave as an intern. But before then, I was a junior data analyst somewhere else. So I agreed to a pay cut to join Flutterwave. People don't know that. And I kid you not, when I joined, I told myself I was going to be the best data analyst ever. Because at the time, they were building compliance and risks team, and that was the team I had joined. And prior to then, I didn't even know anything about compliance, regulatory. I had no idea. I knew there was like internal audits things that happens in every organization, but to the what depth, I had no idea, right? And I told myself that I was going to become so compliance savvy that anything data compliance, data regulatory, they would ask me. They will say, go and ask Samara. Like, go and ask Samara. And now I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, because I did it, and now my boss is trying to win me off that team and put me somewhere else, which is obviously taking my energy. And these people would always say, go and ask Samara, right? And they always come back. I mean, something happened this week. Oh no, this week that's about to end. And they said, oh, Amara, please give us this report. Blah, 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 blah. They wanted it to be consistent. And I mean, I was a bit proud of myself, but I was like, oh my God, maybe I overdid this thing. But the point is, know your business so much that when you're reporting value and not just numbers, right? So yeah, human experience, communicate insights like a story, not a script. Build trust with stakeholders. Know when to say I don't know, but I'm going to find out. I say this a lot. Now, you admitting that you currently don't know this, but you find out, shows that, oh, I may not have the answer you have right now, but I am committed to finding it out. Right. And don't be shy to say, oh, I'm not sure. Because I can post, I think I did something on A/B testing one time. I posted on LinkedIn, and then this guy was asking me a lot of questions. I was like, oh, good question. I'm not sure about this. I'll find out and I'll get back to you. And yes, immediately I left that conversation, I went to find out. And then I quoted him and now said, oh, this is blah, 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 da, 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 da. If it's some people though that deleted that comment and this and blocked the young man, and I'm like, you would have lost an opportunity to learn something new. First, the next, long story short, we became friends. I think at some point I wanted to attend a conference and tickets were sold out, and this guy gave me a ticket for free, which saved me a couple of dollars. So these things build human experience, right? I'm trying to run because of time. Think of your, now go back to your last stakeholder meeting for those who this is applicable to. So did they walk away with clarity or just chats? Did they just have the graph in their head? Nothing more. They didn't even know they didn't even know next line of action. They didn't know what the next point of call should be. All they knew was revenue was up, cost was down. Nothing, right? So every time you want to present stuff, right, have this question in my mind: are they going to walk away with clarity or just chat? Right. So yeah. In conclusion, what we're trying to say is learn fast, grow faster. Find people who challenge your thinking. Mentors, great. Peer to peer, fantastic. Ask for feedback after every analysis, not just reports. Now, this is something I know that a lot of people don't leverage, and I really hope we do because I know I did. Um, when you do guided projects like outside work, and you are feeling very good about it, there's only so much you will know from your point of view or from where you stand in your data maturity level. I really, and I know it has worked for me a lot. I would reach out to somebody on LinkedIn, like so funny story. I was working on a report, just a personal stuff. Not personal, it was like a consulting gig, and I wasn't sure if this thing was going to be, if it was what I needed it to be. So I went to LinkedIn. I looked for somebody that was in that industry, that was in an organization that was in Europe, because it was in an European market, and I did not want to not have context or to go and submit nonsense, and the consultants would be like, "What is this?" Like, I don't want it to be shallow. I wanted it to help them drive decisions, right? So I reached out to Caroline and I asked for a meeting, asked for a non-committal chat. I'm like, it's okay if you go through the analysis and at the time you can't help me, that's fine. But I just want you to have a look at it and then let me know. And then she's like, okay, fine. We can go over it. And then I presented it to her. And she asked me 5 questions. It's in my journal. I can never forget. The 5 questions redefined how I did that project. Always ask for feedback. You did a guided project. You did something on Marvin Analytics. You posted it on LinkedIn. Fantastic. A step further would be reach out to somebody who seems like a senior on LinkedIn within that industry that has business context to actually judge that work. Because LinkedIn, you post it, people just come and say, oh, great work, awesome stuff, awesome, awesome, awesome. But then you are missing out the gift of feedback and something you can learn from seniors, right? So ask for feedback after every analysis. You do an analysis, ask a stranger, it's fine. Build a relevant portfolio. I think this is a problem we have, because now ChatGPT can help you write your CV. So CVs are not really, they're working, but a lot of people are giving to more portfolios. I know someone who was hiring a social media manager, a content strategist, and the only thing she wanted to see was portfolio. She didn't want to see CV. So yes, build a portfolio. You're not sure how to build a full portfolio. Go to, what's the name of this guy? I literally can see his face. This guy, that Alex the analyst. He has I think a YouTube video on how to build a portfolio with Wix. So Wix, Wix.com, or use GitHub Pages. Wix, I think Wix you get to pay, but if you're using a GitHub Pages website, you don't have to pay. And I think at the time when I was looking for beta testing consulting gigs, I built a sharp, quick portfolio. Sharp, quick one, fast, because I always work on personal projects all the time. So I just picked relevant projects for that job I wanted to apply for, packed them together in one portfolio, sent the link. Did I get the job? Yes, I did. Did I send my CV? No, I did not. Right. So build a keyword relevant and action word portfolio. To become visible and stand out. Right. So I had I invited one of my technical recruiter. Yeah, he's like a senior guy, hires people in Egypt, MENA, and interesting regions. And he said something that stood out for me. He said that the problem he has as a technical recruiter is now that the people who have visibility do not have competence. And a lot of times, the people who have competence do not have visibility, which in itself is a problem in the hiring market today. So the people who have visibility, they are doing no depth. Then the people who have the competence are a tad bit difficult to find. So you now have to go and poach them from where they are working. Right? So become visible, stand out. And what does that mean? You have to be curious, curiosity over perfection. Okay, referencing the previous page, it's okay to say, oh, I don't know about this, but I'll find out. Right? Curiosity, you're going to find out. Right, reflect, share your work, underline, share your work, right? Own your outcomes, not just your outputs, right? Be the analyst that does not, so to three now, be the analyst who doesn't just answer questions, but asks better ones. I know that a lot of things that happen is you want to work on an analysis, maybe your work or your personal guided project. And for some beautiful reasons, you're not sure about something, ask. If somebody says, I want a sales report to give me visibility on sales numbers, ask them, what does that mean? What kind of charts do they want to see? What do they want exactly? Right? So learn to ask better questions. So that's pretty much it. Let me give room for questions. I know I have gone a bit over time, but let's give room for questions.
I didn't even notice the time passed.
Hey,
Guys, except I'm the only one here. Trust me, the last couple of minutes has been insightful and eye-opening. So this is your opportunity to ask questions. You need clarity. You need something to be more delved into. You need more insight on that area, or there's something you really wanted to hear, didn't hear. This is the perfect time. I don't know if we'll have the honor to have our amazing guest here again. Sometimes we have guests come for the second time, but I don't know if we'll be lucky to have that with Precious. So please do it to use this opportunity very well. Ask your questions. You can use the raise hand button, or you can put it in the comment section. We're going to take as much as possible given the available time. Ira, your hand is up. You have the floor.
Yeah, thank you so much, Peps, and thank you so much, Precious. That you guys are phenomenal. The both of you are amazing.
Aww.
You know, every time I talk about Pepe, anytime I come to soft skill, it's I don't know, like I like to I really like our guests, but I like to shine the light more on the project coordinator, Pepe. You know, like
I love
Pepe
my
has been
energy too.
amazing.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, amazing, amazing, amazing. She knows I will never stop giving her flowers. And I'm so grateful for NYC for bringing us together. So to see how we've been rocking it way, way, way back and still building, a community together through data analytics Elite is such an honor, to be here. And also to our guest, amazing stuff, Precious. Like you were just eating the nail on the head, pa 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 pa. And beside eating the nail on the head, your slides were easy to read, easy to follow. There were nothing, it's just easy to just follow through every conversation. Thank you
She
very
practices
much,
what she
Precious.
preaches.
Exactly, right? Thank you very, very, like, I really enjoyed this conversation. And I'm
Yeah.
glad I really had time, to stay here from the beginning to the end. And if I would go home with anything here, would be the three criteria: the technical, the business, and communication. When you were asking the question earlier, I was raising up my hand because you might like, yes, like these three things are important, to know that earlier this
Yeah.
week in the community, we're talking about, we were actually telling people to open up and say the difference between a data analyst and a business analyst. Look at the technical, look at the business side, and we're trying to like understand what these two people do. And the same thing is what you are still like, the same thing that we identified are still the same thing being repeated here. Right. So for all of you on the call, like you guys keep hearing this thing over and over and over and over. If you go elsewhere, it's the same thing that you hear. Right. So it's time for you to now take action. Right. Gone are the days, like technology is growing and evolving. Gone are the days whereby you want to sit down with just technical prowess only. Technical prowess is great, but we're not speaking business. Even as a business owner, I'm so glad our data analyst is on the call, and I can call him out because he did analysis for soft skills, and I'm like, no, we need to have a meeting. Because to me, I'm looking at it from the CEO level, saying, nah, I need these things to speak to me. I need to see the business side of this analysis. Yes, visualization is good, dashboard is good, paint it, color it, amazing stuff. But can a business owner, can a stakeholder, a manager use that report to make valid decision? Does it add value to the company, to the vision they're trying to achieve? Is very, very important. And that's what everyone on this call should, try to go towards, right? The value, and also learn how to communicate. Sincerely, like when you mention those 3 points, I'm like, that's it. Like, that's it, right? Communication is very, very important. Clarity of thoughts, very, very valid. Because 2 weeks ago, I had an issue with an ex-colleague that I actually ended up blocking him because he wasn't clear in his conversation, right? You're an ex-colleague of mine and you're asking me some personal question as if you're my best friend. You see, and in my head, I'm thinking, hello, who are you again? And why are you asking me this kind of questions? You know, there are some questions that Peps can ask me because we've been rolling in from NYC, right? We are friends, we are best of friends. If before this call, we were on the call for like an hour, 30 minutes, just chatting. That's us. But you are not in that same space with me, and you're asking me some personal questions, and I'm like, what's going on? Then I had to call one of his team members to be like, oh, this person called me and I wasn't cool with the conversation. It mentions this and that. And it was like, oh, so sorry. The guy has issue with communication. He doesn't know how to communicate properly. That's not really what he meant. He meant something else. And I'm like, and you are a data analyst. Really? You are saying things and you are meaning something else. You're just messing up the whole thing. So I had even blocked him before I even seeked clarity. And in my mind, I'm like, it's blocked, it's done. I'm not gonna reverse that. Right. So please, communication is very important. Right. Like those three things, if you don't take anything from this call, please don't just take those three things. Build your technical prowess because you don't want to be out there on LinkedIn talking and it's just noise. Because when people reach out to you and they relate with you, when they see that it's just nothing, empty barrels, they move, they won't come back. And you don't want that for yourself. So build your technical prowess, build your business skills. As you're thinking as a data analyst, think as a business owner, be involved. If you're working in a company and you're looking to leave that company, maybe it's not even time for you to leave. Maybe you need to be more involved in what the company is doing. Be more involved. Speak to your manager, ask questions, be more involved, show commitment to the company. Maybe that is what you need before you even get your next breakthrough. Because a lot of us are trying to leave from that customer service job, to tech, and then it's actually not forthcoming. Be involved. Use your data analytics skills in your company and then help the company drive measurable and impactful metrics from it. And also communicate well. Clarity of thought. If you have to read book about how to communicate, go on YouTube. Ask ChatGPT what's the best book to read about communication, how to improve your communication. Please do it, because you don't want to be speaking to somebody and then they are just trying to figure out all that you're trying to say, and it's really not making sense, but it's making sense to you. Please, one-sided communication is not communication. Yeah, you are giving the other person a whole lot of headache. So thank you very much, Precious. I am so glad that I was here. It was a massive, insightful session. Thank you.
Thank you, Remide, for throwing more light to that. We appreciate you as always, and thank you for putting this community together, for creating this platform for us to do this. Thank you. We love you and we appreciate you. We have a couple of questions in the comment section. I see your hand, Bello, but these guys typed in their questions first. So we'll take these ones and then we'll come to you, Bello. So just patience with us. Okay, the first one is coming from Steven. Advise a data enthusiast, newbie, on how to walk the data analysis path, what to learn first, the next learning, and what to keep learning.
I feel like that's a very interesting question. And you know
Absolutely.
how they say there are multiple roads to get to church. So there are multiple roads to get to church. There's no one die-hard truth on what to do first. But I mean, some people start with data visualization, then they hone it, because that in itself can land you a job. You can be a BI analyst, right? So that in itself can land you a job. So it's generally depends on how you want to start or what you want to do. For me, long story short, I started with Python. I don't know how that makes sense, but I started with Python. And then I left it and went to Excel. So you see that my one more, I was just everywhere. Started with Excel because I wanted to understand how the whole data formatting works. I wanted to understand how the whole I don't know how many of us are familiar with what's this tool that accountant and economists use. This it's not SSMS. I can't remember, but it's an accounting tool that
SPS or something like that.
How it works. Yes, SPSS. Thank you. Yes. So I wanted to understand how it works. So I went to Excel first. And from Excel, understanding Power BI was pretty decent because it is Microsoft. So there's a unified interface. So in a way, your Power Query literally looks like Excel, but just a step higher because you now have functions that do a lot of better things for you, right? So that helps me a lot. And when I understood Excel, it was easy to understand SQL. So typically, as a junior data analyst, people are paying you for a technical prowess. So I always advise, if you're just starting, ace your technical competence. Know your stuff, know your tech stack. Because the more you grow, the more strategic your role becomes. That's when storytelling becomes an actual thing. That's when strategic thinking becomes an actual thing. That's when critical thinking becomes an actual thing. But when you are in junior data analyst, most times the tasks they give you are usually, oh, go fix this and give me feedback. So it's actually you going above and beyond giving insights, right? Giving actionable insights and not just performance insights or metrics or whatever you want to call it. So I always, if you're on junior level, please ace your technical competence, right? Because in the world today, nobody wants to be hard-holding anybody. Be the best storyteller in this world. You don't know how to use Power BI. What are you doing? You're stressing me. Come on, be going, please. Right? So you're a junior, fix your technical expertise, right? Fix it. All four of them. when you are done with that, you want to now maybe become an analytics engineer, or you want to become a data engineer, right? Then you can now start learning things like maybe Azure, data warehousing, maybe it's Fabric is your thing. You now start learning about data lakes, you want to start learning about Parquet files. You can now start learning. But the truth is, if you are just sitting on one spot saying, what should I learn? What should I learn? You will not learn anything, because it can be so overwhelming. I know there's a lot of information out there. There's a lot of resources to consume. If you want to learn every day, you will not finish all the resources on data that's out there in the internet, right? So just pick. If it depends on the level you are, start with, if it's junior, start with your technical expertise. If it's mid-level or intermediate, right, then start honing your managerial skills, start honing your strategic thinking, because your role has become more strategic than, what's the word now? I don't want to say manual, because it's not manual and it's very important. But yeah, you get what I mean. So I hope that answers your question, Stephen.
Stephen, I hope you got the answer you wanted. You can just type a yes or a follow-up question if you have one, but I will take other questions. Thank you for that in-depth answer, Precious. Tomison is asking, can you throw more light on your statement? Cheapest and quickest way is automation muscle. Can you direct on how to develop the muscle? Yeah, I'm not a muscle builder, Precious.
Go to the gym, guys. Go to the gym. Anywho, when I said muscle, right? If you check, one of the best ways to, when I said cheapest, quickest win, I meant that there are some tasks that are very mundane, that if you just automate like this, when it's time for appraisal, everybody will be singing your praises, because you made their life easier. So I said build them up. That's why I think in my slide I mentioned, I gave a clue. Is this it? Okay, it's this guy. I gave a, where's it? Let me see. Okay. So your cue, you don't know where to start. Repetitive work is a clue. Maybe you do this report every week or every day. Automate it. Automation may just mean building the Power BI dashboard. Automation means maybe you need a job to be scheduled. Maybe you need a Slack bot. Build a Slack bot. Maybe the team wants to be seen if, for example, if transactions are failing, or if so I was having a conversation with somebody. This is automation at its best, all right? And it was a Sunday afternoon, very hot Sunday afternoon, sometime this year, maybe a month ago. And I went into the store. For people that don't know me, outside data, I like to be a bodyguard, whatever that means for you. Take it like that. Yeah, Men in Black. I feel like I used to tell people, in my next life, I'll come as a Russian lady that is a spy. Please. But yeah, you see all those fringe, I'm gonna do it and all of that, right? So, and I was supposed to go serve somebody, the person I was working with at the time, and he wanted juice. And I went to this store and I went to their chillers, and I was seeing soda. The particular juice, I saw it on the aisle, on the rack, right? On the display rack. Not cold, of course, because it wasn't in chiller. And then I went to chiller, I was seeing funny juice. I was seeing beer, Buddha. I was seeing small stouts. I was just seeing funny drinks that was not my interest at the time. And I was so upset because I had walked a distance inside suits to go and buy that juice. Because I didn't drive, because it was in my mind, oh, it's just here, let me just walk it. Then started walking it, and it started feeling like it was a punishment at some point. And I was like, why can't you guys take proper stock? Like, because I was like, I don't understand. I was so pissed. I was like, why is it not this? I went to meet the manager. Why is this one not on this? And the guy was like, no, we put them this morning. No, it's already afternoon. People have bought it finished. And I'm like, what kind of lame ass excuse is that? And I told him on the spot, I gave him solution. I said, why don't you have, maybe it's an Excel, plug it into your database or whatever, that when people buy stuff, you put the units, it tells you the number of things that have been purchased. Have it filled to a Google sheet that goes to your inventory manager, that he can see. Maybe people should say, after a unit is less than 10, it should be highlighted in red. Condition formatting will do that for you. it will be highlighted in red. Once it's red, they should go and refill it. Is that not a problem solution? I can't remember how I said it, but the man was just looking at me like, sister, calm down. And in that instance, I literally gave them an idea of how to automate the entire inventory stock management process. Did they buy the idea? Yes. Did I sell the product to them? Yes, because I'm not going to dash you that. So I know, I'm Igbo. We like money. I know, I agree. So yeah, that is how you build automation muscle. Look for repetitive tasks that are mundane, that will actually drive solution, that would actually bring value to people. Just go and automate it. If at all, if they don't accept it, that's fine. You've learned something new. You move. Best part, if they don't accept it, you can talk about it in like third-party context, share it on LinkedIn. It's your win. In the end, it's a win-win. You don't lose. You've done a project, put it out there. You'll be surprised that there's a hiring manager somewhere on LinkedIn that has that problem and will not see that solution and be like, this person has a lot of sense. Why don't we have this person on our team? And that is it. I hope that answered your question.
Yeah. Hi, Tomisi. You can let us know if it answered your question or if you have a follow-up question to that. And once again, thank you for that response. I even backed it up with an example. I should learn from you. Another question here from All Smart. How was your progress like till you got to this level? What advice will you give to a new person that just learned the required tools? It's difficult getting internships. No, I think he means internship, since he's talking about jobs here. It's difficult getting internships and jobs these days. Should we say data analyst too? Honestly, I can't make sense to the last paragraph of this question, but I think it's somewhere about difficulty in getting internships and jobs.
Yeah, I think I understand what the person is trying to say. So the person is trying to say you perceive that there's an oversaturation of the markets. There's a lot of data analysts out there.
Oh, data analysts are too much. Don't forget.
Yes, data analysts are too much. Think of it this way. Every organization, whether small business, whether in health, whether in edutech, whether in finance, whether in agriculture, whatever sector, whatever industry, they need an analyst. I told you, as at this year, Statista had already said that we're building or we generate 1.5 quintillion of data every day. How many data analysts want to be doing 1.5 quintillion of data every day? I'm telling you that that's one job that will never go out of style, because different organizations and are different. And the beauty about this thing is depends on your data. No, I don't use data maturity because I'm about to use it again. Depends on your data analytics maturity, right? There's an organization for you, because different organizations are at different levels in their data maturity too, right? So I understand when you say it's a bit difficult to get jobs these days. I get it. I know there's this belief that the job market is a mess, but I need you to shift your mind from the scarcity mindset to abundance mindset. I just told you that a couple of my friends have been referring people. He literally referred somebody yesterday, and he actually referred somebody to Ministry of Works yesterday, and the minister he had referred the person to came back and was asking, is this a data analyst? Well, he doesn't understand the basic things. The problem is a lot of people have visibility but no competence. So you see that because now ChatGPT can write you a beautiful resume, and a lot of people they're not leveraging referrals. And I'm not saying referrals that you bump up into the inbox of a random stranger and you ask for referring to their company. Because most times, like when people come and ask me that they want referring to my company, I'm like, it's not even on my table. We don't even know when it opens. We just need to hear a meeting that it's open. So I feel like you have to learn how to use the tools that you need to use, right? So you've learned your tools, fantastic. Go to LinkedIn, search for hiring managers in data. Search for that. It will give you only people who are hiring at that time for data jobs. Now, if you go reach out to 10 of those people, there's a chance that one person wants to hear you or listen to what you have to say. If there's competence, if there's value in the message you send, because I don't expect you to send me a very long paragraph like it's a breakup text, and then you think I'll read through it because I want to hire you. Like, is the audacity for me, right? So you go to LinkedIn, check hiring managers in blah, 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 whatever particular, if it's data architect you're looking for, intern, whatever, and then apply. And there are also NGO internships that are happening now where NGOs are actually hiring interns. You can do that and add it to your CV, because sometimes the problem a lot of people have with hiring interns or junior designers that there's no work experience. Like, a couple of people have just taken certifications here, certifications there, but they've not really applied it into a real world setting. And that's the concern I know a couple of technical recruiters, that's the concern a lot of them have, right? That's why it's a tad bit difficult to actually hire these people. And that's why I see when Microsoft does their internship or apprenticeship, there's a very high chance that people that completed and were successful just transition into a full-time role, because Microsoft are not about to be looking for interns up and down. I don't know if that makes sense. But I need you to move from scarcity. The first thing is that there's a data job out there for you. If you are, don't say data analysis are too much. The data we're generating is too much. It's times 10 of the data analysts that we have in the world. The number of, do you know how many small businesses we have in Nigeria today? Do you know how many enterprise businesses we have in Nigeria today? Do you know how many of them have open roles for data people? And if there's no even data role open, if you bring value, if you've seen the problem in their product, and you go and meet the team lead in a respectful way, not to come and be judging the person that the person is doing a bad job, but in a respectful way to communicate the value you have to offer, there's a high chance that you will get, they'll be more receptive to you, right? So I hope that answers your question, because I don't know, I don't know if I'm having headache as I'm answering it.
No,
Yeah.
oh, so sorry. Oh, smart. I
Yeah,
hope
it's fine.
you got the answer you needed. If no, you can't. Like, if you have a follow-up question, you can put it in the comment section as well. Muhyiddin, I think this has been um I think she has done this though. In her presentation, she told us how she did something for her team. She automated something for her team. And
Mhm.
in the example of the drink, the juice, she just told us something like that again. However, the one I would want you to throw more light on, Precious, is how to flex that muscle, because I think Tomisin said the second part. That's the second part to like how to build that muscle on automation.
So to see, you know how do you build literal muscles? Like, I mean, I'm very strong. I'm a very strong young man, but how do you build that muscle? It's very simple. Using it. Keep using it.
Mm.
Like, how many of us, I don't know how many of us work out. If you go to the gym, the first day you go, in fact, the first week you go, if you have a leg day and you live in a house that you have to use the stairs, I know me, my legs, in fact, the first week I started working out, my legs were wobbly. I was shaking like this. You would think that maybe they did deliverance for me. I was shaking to climb the stairs, because at the time we were on third floor. So that meant going through ground floor, first, second, third. And then that was the day that I knew that I did not like my landlord, because there was no elevator there at the time. So I said, this man is not a very good person. Because now, over time, did I have leg day today? Yes. Are my legs shaking? No. Right? The way to flex any muscle, literal, whether it's data muscle, whatever muscle in this life, whether it's even spiritual muscle, is consistent practice. And I gave the example of the Sunday where I was super pissed and I was still thinking about solution and problem and solution on the spot, was because I've built myself to not just to be solutions oriented. Because the way I am right now, if you come and meet me with a problem and you just keep going, I'm like, okay, what's the solution? Right? So you want to be in that place that there's a repetitive task. Your first instinct is, how do I automate this? How do I make life easier for everybody? Your company is building a new product, reporting may be messy at first, but how do you save everybody that trouble? That's why I'm thinking of automation on the spot. And why I say it's the cheapest and quickest win is when you do something around automation and somehow influences how somebody works manually, that person is forever grateful to you. And it's easier to call favors. I mean, we're in corporate, so we call favors a lot. It's easier to call favors when you have invested into somebody's work. And you were just doing your own job. But that's why they're paying you in the first place. You're just doing your own job. But then somehow you have deposited into somebody's emotional bank and you can withdraw. Right. So I hope that helps. Just keep flexing it. Now, maybe, I don't know. I'm looking at my bed right now and I'm wishing I have some automation skill to always lay it up or something. I don't know. But maybe I'll figure that out at some point in my life. But yeah, so you look at the problem. How can we solve this? You can even look at LinkedIn as a whole. It doesn't even necessarily have to be work. It can just be random stuff. Look for how to just automate these tasks and just make people's life easier. When you do it, put it on LinkedIn, tell you what you did that. I think last year I was working on, because I have these goal sheets that I have the end of every year, new year, new me. I take it very seriously. And for some beautiful reason, I had shared it with somebody on my team. And he was like, I have to share it with everybody on the team too, because he used it. And 4 people used my tracker and somehow got married between last year and this year. I'm now thinking maybe I'm not using my tracker right, but okay. But yeah, so that is me thinking out loud. But yeah, so I saw the problem where people find it difficult to keep track of their goals after January, after February. People are exhausted. Now, I just said, why don't I just build a tracker that people can, maybe my software friend will look at it and say, well, let's build this stuff, and then they can just have on their phones, and it sends them a reminder that you said by this time of the year you'd have done this. So it's just in people's face, and like, I beg, let me do this thing before so I can go and just mark my checklist and all of that. For example, I don't know how many of us use Bible app if you're a Christian here, and there's now a streak that counts the number of times you use the app. That was somebody just trying to make sure people read their Bible some more, right? They just added streak. Even Duolingo, people, anybody now, you're even tired, I don't want to listen to French. You just now let Duolingo just be talking first so that you don't lose your streak. Somebody thought of a way to make people learn better. Now, imagine the staff that thought about that. When it's time for appraisal, who would tell me that staff did not work last year? Even if that's the only thing the person did. Do you see? Yeah. So I hope that's answered your question.
Yeah. Let me see the name again. Muhyiddin. I think, yes. And Muhyiddin's hand is raised. Just a minute. Is it possible to get your contact? Oh, smart. I will share, or I have shared Precious's LinkedIn handle. So you can use that to reach out to her on LinkedIn. And of course, if the conversation go as expected, perhaps you could get a personal contact. All right, Muhyiddin, please unmute your mic. Because of time, I think this will be the last question we'll take, so that we can release Precious.
Okay.
Before she thinks of how to automate us out of our computer.
Okay. Thank you very much. Yeah, thank you very much, Precious, and to the team that put up, this initiative. We really appreciate. So, Precious, I can relate very well with you. What I really, admire most is your experience. Someone that is already on the job when the person is speaking, you can be able to differentiate between that person and someone that uses AI really. For me personally, currently I'm in UK, but when I was in Nigeria, I worked with banks, and all in all, I spent like 13 years in the banking industry before I left Nigeria. And while I was in Nigeria, I was a core operational person. I was very fully involved in reconciliations and everything. But when I got to UK, I found that because I came here as a student, so I was an SBO before I left Nigeria. So when I came in, I left as a team lead customer service. So when I came in and I was looking for such job, they told me, the banks here told me, no, they can't give me that job based on that level because I will just be doing 20 hours per week, as a student. And because of that, people that will be superseding over will be doing like 40 hours full time. So how is that possible? So that was when I came across this data analysis and all that. So data analysis was so, something very new to me. I didn't even understand. Meanwhile, this was me that was always reconciling GLs, account and everything, but I wasn't seeing it as a data analyst. I was just seeing it as a normal banker. To the extent of when you mention the issue around automation, this is something I also always like to, because I believe that whatever process you are doing, there are 1,001 ways more that can be done better. That is improvement.
Yeah.
So there was a time also when my team members were having issues, with ATM cards. Customer will come, you see that they tell customer your ATM card is not ready. You see that they can't find the ATM card. I was like, why is this thing like this? So I had to put up a tracker for them. So immediately you mentioned that tracker, I really understood what you were trying to say, but I just wanted something more like deep based on your own experience. You understand what I'm saying now? So that was why I said, yes, you've answered the question, but not really. But what I think I can do for the purpose of my own personal development when it comes to data analysis is maybe I'll need to follow you up on LinkedIn. Then after that, so we can always be talking so that I can see how I can improve myself. I think that's fine. Thank you very, very much. Thank you.
All right. Need is looking for something deep. Please flex your muscle.
Yeah.
Flex your muscle. Explore the tools. It will take you deeper.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right. Prisha, did you want to say something?
No. Just affirming what you said.
Okay. All right. So, guys, Iremide has dropped a link for us. Tell us. It won't take you up to 2 minutes, really. Just put that 2 minutes there to exaggerate everything. Tell us what you think about the session. Answer all the questions honestly, because it will help us, improve our service to you. We are here to serve you. We are here to help everyone in our community get better. We cannot do that in isolation. We need your impact to do that. Like the session today, it's only this great because we understood that this is something that our community need. We have a lot of persons that are trying to build their career in the right path. What can they do to make that better? So building better experiences. As you can see, it did not just talk about technical experience. It's cut across soft skills as well and human experience. So this sort of feedback help us to serve it better. So please take out your time. If you open the link, by the time I started talking, I'm very sure by now you would have finished filling it. So if you have not, this is the next best time to please let us or help us help you. Right? Fill the form and we'll be happy to hear your feedback and continue serving you. Latif, your hand is raised, although we're done with question and answer session. But I don't know, it depends on our speaker if she still has bandwidth to okay, this is your question. Yes, of course, if you register for the session, you're going to get a recording for it. All our sessions are recorded, so I hope you registered for the session. And if you did not, you can still register. Just use the link to register. All right, so I guess this is where we'll draw the curtains because of time. We have done so much today. We have said a lot of things. We have shared a lot of insights, but nothing, absolutely nothing will change for you. It's not a course, by the way. Let me make that clear. But nothing will work if you do not take an action. Nothing will work if you do not intend. This is even beyond it, intention. If you don't act on what you've heard today, now you've heard that you need to build several experiences, 3 major blocks. Maybe you might want to start with 1, you might want to start with 2, you might want to start with all 3. It depends solely on you. But whatever that plan is, you need to start acting on it now. Just like the person that asked the question around what tools to learn. You heard what Precious said. If you are sitting and thinking, oh, what should I learn? Which one should I start with? You'll be confused. Because even me, myself, I'm quite familiar with data analysis. But there are some tools I see and I'm like, I don't think I'm there yet. I don't think I'm there yet. Like, what is this? You just get overwhelmed, and that fear can even hinder you from making significant progress. So please take out time, make a plan, and intentionally decide what you are going to improve on moving forward. Are you going to start improving on your technical skills? Are you going to start improving on your soft skills? Or are you going to start improving on your human skills? Some of us, we think that once we are so excellent at our job, we can just treat every other person around us the way we like talk to my hands, talk to the air. So human experience might be the area where you want to start working on. Whatever it is, make the decision and act on it. And if you are here and you want to start building on your technical tools, you do not know where to start. This is why we are here. It is our job. Now our work be that. Forgive the fidget. Please, Iremide will share the link with you to join our community. We have trainers. We have trainers and mentors that are ready to guide you, that are ready to teach you, to train you. We can even prepare you up to the point of certification in some tools if it is something that you fancy. So if you love to be a part to the community, if you love to train with us, you want to learn with us, please do well to reach out. We have different trainings that will be coming up soon. Iremida, I don't know if you would like to throw more light on the upcoming trainings.
Yeah, thank you so much, Peps, for that. Yeah, so before I go into training, please help us fill the feedback form. I'm checking the back end
You've
and I've
not
only
filled it
seen
yet.
like 3 responses yet so far.
Oh my God.
So please, it's just in a minute you're actually done, right? In a minute, just about you just selecting. Please help Peps, help Precious, and help my humble self.
Help me,
We just
help
want
me,
to get
help
your
me, help me,
feedback.
help me.
We want to get your feedback. And if you want to join our community, that's for just the announcement group. You can join with the link I've sent. Daylight community, as you all know, is a paid community. So we have a paid community. We used to have free, but based on building structures, we have to move the community to a paid community. However, the one I dropped now is for the announcements, to get announcements about all our upcoming trainings. Our training is starting in May, 4th of May. Power BI is starting. 11th of May is SQL. 18th of May is Microsoft Fabric. And June 1st is Microsoft Excel. So if you're looking to take any of those two, please, those are the dates. You can join the announcement group. More information will be posted there about the training. Also, something is coming in May. So 5th of May, it's my birthday. And I don't have any plans to celebrate yet, but I think I'm working with a project coordinator trainee, and there's likely going to be a free training. So if you want to learn Power BI, SQL, Microsoft Fabric, you can join the community, because I think that direction is what I might do for the month of May. So all our trainings for the month of May are likely to be free in celebration of my birthday. Yeah. So join the announcement so that you get the announcement and you know what to do once we start publicizing that. Thank you so much, Peps, for being here. And thank you so much, Precious. Yeah. I look forward to, connecting with Precious, sometime in the future. We can work on other projects as well. All right, how can you join the premium community? Just join the announcements group. That will also be posted. How to join our community will also be posted. Anything, join the community, and then I'll send you a message on what to do going forward. So that's like the announcement. The premium community has a payment platform where you have to pay. It's 1,000 naira per month, to join our community. Just a token to ensure commitment and seriousness into our community, because we don't want a community that is a dumping ground for just anybody and everything. We are very intentional in what we are building and how we are helping you achieve your goal in data analytics. All right, ladies and gentlemen.
Absolutely.
I guess I'll hand over to Peps now.
Thank you. Guys, before we go, can we unmute our mic and say thank you to Precious? It's our culture, our tradition, please.
Thank you, Precious.
And say thank you to our super duper amazing guest.
Thank you.
Thank you, Precious. So you see, we're not robots. We're not robots at all. We're